Here we are at the beginning of the 21st century, and agriculture is facing a period of enormous change. It's going to have to change rapidly and fundamentally if we're going to feed a growing population sustainably. Added to that, in the UK we have an ageing population of farmers, and we need a young generation of farmers who are going to take on the challenge. Farmers are going to need to change their business structures to accommodate this change, and this is the story of how one farmer is doing exactly that.
Well, I'm 54 years of age, and I've been here all my life. Left school, joined my father and went into partnership. We were milking cows in at the farm. The whole 450 acres that we were farming then, our total fertiliser usage was something in the region of about 6 tonnes a year. So we were already organic. I suffered a stroke in my right eye, and I've partially lost the sight of my right eye, and I find it very difficult working with livestock. So I decided I've got to do something with the farm. I don't want to sell the farm. I don't particularly want to rent the farm out. I still want to continue farming because I enjoy what I'm doing. So I decided that I'd start to go into a rotation and grow crops. So I'm hoping to have something like 140 acres in my organic rotation, growing different crops, seed crops, whatever, clover, ryegrasses, corn. We're already growing 60 acres of seed corn this year for organic seed producers out in Lincolnshire. We've got 20 acres of triticale and we've got 40 acres of spring oats. So that's a start. But I need to have livestock on my farm. I need to have something which can build fertility within the farm. I need sheep, I need cattle. Whatever is available to come here can most probably come here, as long as it fits in with the system, you know. So you know, and I can see the farm going forwards because there is a world shortage of organic seeds, especially grass seeds and clover seeds. So yeah, it's a bright future for the farm. I'd like to give the opportunity for a young person to start farming, get their foot on the farming ladder without having too much liability. But working for themselves, they bring their own livestock here, they can sell wherever they want to sell. They can sell on the open market, organic market, whatever they get for their animals, that's theirs. That's nothing to do with me. And I'm willing to give the land rent-free, but all I want in return is the manure.
My name is Kay Lewis and I'm the Rural Development Officer for Wales Young Farmers. Within my role, I promote rural opportunities to young people throughout Wales. We have a membership of 6,000 members in 158 clubs throughout Wales. Young people have a huge barrier in front of them in Wales today, with high capital costs, starting up costs, and also high rental costs. It's an impossibility to get into a step on the ladder to the agricultural industry. Buying your own farm in Wales these days is impossible for a young person. Any new entrant who wants to get into the industry really have to rely on inheriting a farm or having an opportunity from an extra neighbour at low rental prices, really. Well, obviously the continuation of the Young Entrant Support Scheme by the Welsh Government would be fantastic. It's helped already over 300 people get into the agricultural industry as head of holding. And also hopefully that Roger will be a role model for other farmers today, for them to open up their farms to the availability to young farmers to get onto the farming ladder, really.
It's crucial to get the business model right because it's hopefully going to be a fairly long-term relationship, and in order to make sure that if something goes wrong or if there's a dispute or a problem that arises, then there needs to be something to be referred to in order to resolve any problems that do arise during the continuance of the relationship. So it's very, very important to get it right. There are a wide range of options, ranging from contract farming agreements right down to farm business tenancies and long-term leases, depending on how much control the farmer, the landowner, wants to have over the business going forward. If landlords want to claim single farm payments and glass tier payments, for example, then they can't be landlords, because a landlord is someone who gives up occupation and control of the farm. They have to come up with something in between, such as a share farming agreement or a contract farming agreement or some sort of license. Essentially, you've got two businesses running on the same piece of land, so that sort of fits in with the criteria that you'd normally have a share farming arrangement. The share farming arrangement needs to be carefully drafted. There may be some sort of licenses involved in the share farming agreement. One of the options might be a grazing license or a series of grazing licenses, particularly because you're not going to be occupying the same piece of land each year. That's why a number of reasons why a farm business tenancy wouldn't work, because first of all the landowner wouldn't be able to claim the single farm payments, and secondly it's very difficult to have a continuous farm business tenancy for say 5 years on a rotating piece of land. So I think it's going to be take some careful planning and careful thoughts. It'll be a combination, I suspect, of a share farming agreement with some sort of licences in there possibly.
I'm Tony Evans. I work for a business called the Anderson Centre doing farm consultancy, and I also I'm involved in several joint ventures myself, farming wise.
What do you see as the main benefits for the contractors and for the landowner?
Okay, from a contractor's viewpoint, he hasn't necessarily got to have ownership of land or tenure of land to get going. He can get going with very limited capital. The most important thing is his capability technically and his financial acumen stroke meanness in terms of what he invests in on that holding, all right, so that he can develop a high rate of return on the assets that are actually there. The first slice of that level of return will actually go back to the farm owner, whereas the contractor, if he's doing a good job, will actually then generate the leftover slice being a big slice as well. Right. From a farmer's viewpoint, we've got an aging farmer who doesn't want to leave the farm, doesn't want to cash it in because of various taxations, and also if he takes his money out of farming, what's he going to do with it? Perhaps if he had serious debt, then he could at least pay it off, but many farmers don't have a lot of debt and they actually don't really need to take the money out of farming. As well as that, they've got the accountant saying it would be lovely if you could carry on having your trading status as well. So for him to carry on farming but not have the day job has to be the ultimate, really. Number one, there has to be profit. Without profit, you've got no reason for actually trying to be in business. So that is my number one golden rule. There has to be profit or the ability to get to making profit. Because in any venture, if it's fairly new off the ground or you're making significant change, it may take you anywhere between 1 and 3 years to get to that position. Number two is it has to be nice and simple. The operation needs to be simple, the agreement needs to be simple. Complication only adds costs, whichever way around you look at it. And number three is there has to be a mutual vision of where that business joint venture is actually going. May not be the same, but there must be an understanding of that vision and an agreement from both parties that they recognise that vision. If the business goes really well, even the senior person in that, the older person, the farmer, actually starts to get a new lease of life. And in more than one occasion now, I've actually seen in joint ventures where they've gone off and grown the business together going forward, because actually it's become enjoyable, it's become financially rewarding, and these people are living longer and they want to have something to get up for in the morning.